interesting. So one of the big hip-hop news stories that's floating around at the moment is, of course, we're about to begin the trial of what they're calling them, as I believe they're calling them the O Block 5. So the 5 members of O Block, I think it's 6 now, actually. I think they upped it to 6, upped the score. Members from the O Block branch of the Black Disciples street gang who were responsible for the murder of Chicago rapper FBG Duck, famously of the Gangster Disciples, man. And this is a crazy story. You know, I've got a very close connection to this story. Obviously, I've covered the murder of FBG Duck extensively, as well as the kind of hunt for the people that were allegedly responsible, as well as the, let's say, extracurricular activities of King Von in the streets. You know, it's, I'm Mr. King Von was a serial killer. You know what I mean? These O Block guys aren't playing around, and they're not playing fair. So the fact that these guys are actually expected to face trial in the face of what I would probably describe as an avalanche of evidence, it's not looking good, to be honest. Just the songs alone, like just the musical catalogue of Muwop alone, is probably enough to put these fools away for more time than you can count to. But it's going to be interesting, and I just wanted to run through this Chicago Sun-Times article. Got to say a big shout out to Chicago Sun-Times, man, doing crazy journalism in Chicago for years now. I've cited them in many, many videos. The journalism is out of control over at Chicago Sun-Times. So I want to give a little breakdown into this and just read through this article, give my thoughts on a few things. So the FBG Duck murder trial is expected to spotlight Chicago's gang and rap ties. So 6 members and associates of the O Block gang faction face trial Tuesday in a case likely to show the gang rap links that are painstakingly documented, get this, in fringe blogs, YouTube videos, your boy, and online forums. Now, I don't think they actually put any respect on my name and talked about me in this, but let's just run through it and hear about some of the people that they're talking about, because it's super interesting. So O.D. Perry's murder accelerated a years-long Chicago gang war stoked by some of the city's hottest rappers and sensationalized by bloggers and YouTubers who track the city's street violence. Now, sensationalized, they can't be talking about me, can they? But anyway, so O.D. Perry, age 20, was shot to death in August 2011 near the Parkway Gardens housing complex in a violent stretch of South Drive, Martin Luther King Jr. Drive on the south side that grew to be widely known as O Block in his memory. His Black Disciples gang faction took on the same name just before Chicago's drill rap scene exploded in popularity. Chief Keef, Lil Durk, and King Von, rap stars who have aligned with the O Block faction, have referred to Perry in their music whilst disrespecting the Tocqueville Gangster Disciples, the faction allegedly responsible for his killing. Now, it's still a big mystery who killed O.D. Perry, who made the O. It's been subject to intense debate, and I don't think it's ever been solved. I heard an alternative theory about that just a few days ago that was something that I had never heard before, but I'm not sure if we're ever going to really know. But I don't know, a lot of these big kind of crimes have been getting solved recently, so it's kind of interesting. Anyway, rapper FBG Duck, Tocqueville's most prominent member, responded in July 2020 with a scathing song called Dead Bitches that targeted Perry and other fallen O Block members. Said I wasn't gonna diss the dead, and okay. How does he rap it again? Said I wasn't gonna diss the dead, okay, I did it. FBG Duck, real name Carlton Weekly, rapped in a video that has more than 41 million views on YouTube. That ain't really the most insidious lyric they could have picked from Dead Bitches, but you know what I'm saying? This Chicago Sun-Times, they're keeping their reporting classy. Less than a month later, on August the 4th, 2020, Duck was killed in a hail of bullets during a daytime attack outside the Dolce & Gabbana store at 68 East Oak Street in the Gold Coast that also left his girlfriend and someone else waiting in line with him wounded. On Tuesday at the Dirksen, bro, bro, they're not gonna put him away if the building is named after Dirk. What the hell are they talking about? Dirk got the courthouse on lock. Sorry. On Tuesday at the Dirksen Federal Building in downtown Chicago, 6 reputed O Block members and associates, most of them little-known rappers. How are they going to do my boy Muwop like that? Are set to go on trial in a racketeering and murder case. Charles C. Murder Liggins, Kenneth Kenny or Kenny Mac Robertson, to Carlos Los Offord, Christopher C. Thang Thomas, Marcos Muwop Smart, and this is a new one, Ralph Tall or Teasy Turpin, with another suspect dying by suicide. They're talking about Zelmona right there. Now, the case is expected not only to further pull back the curtain on O-Block's workings, but also to spotlight connections between Chicago's gang and rap cultures, an intersection that for years has been painstakingly documented in fringe rap blogs, YouTube videos, and online forums. Man. Interest in the case has grown amid allegations that King Von, a purported O-Block leader whose real name is Davon Bennett, called for FBG Duck's killing. Robertson told a witness cooperating with investigators that he took part in the shooting because King Von had placed a hit on FBG Duck. Now that's fact. Like, we know that that's true. Not only is that true, but we damn near saw King Von go into O-Block with the $100,000 as a goddamn prepayment, as a down payment, along with those lovely O-Block chains that were delivered after the murder. It's crazy. It's a crazy story, and I honestly, sometimes I try and place myself in the shoes of a juror on this case, because bear in mind, like, let's be real, right? Me and all of you people watching, you're probably the same in that we've all been brainwashed by hours and hours and hours of Chicago drill music. Now, I try not to glamorize these guys, but it's hard not to sometimes. And it's hard not to get lit to some King Von and get that killer energy when you're at the gym, but not actually kill anyone. And, you know what I'm saying? I can't imagine what it must be like for a juror that is unaware of all of this crud, all right? That's unaware. They're not plugged into the beef with King Von and Duck. They've not heard "I'm Not From 63rd" a million times, okay? They've not had a million debates online about how many bodies King Von really had, okay? Just the average juror, the average everyday Joe that's doing jury service in Chicago, they'll be like, what the hell has been going on in this Parkway Gardens? You need to get control of this shit, okay? It's going to be crazy. Anyway, let me get back to this. So, 2 informants actually backed up the claim that Von had put a hit on Duck, telling investigators Duck had a price on his head. The name of the person said to have placed the bounty was redacted, but the informant, it was obviously Von, but the informant offered some crucial identifying information that person had bought custom necklaces for O-Block members. My boy Von with the icebox necklaces. Now, when's the icebox Rico going to come? Because you know that these guys, they be counting some dirty money. They be counting that street money all day long. But, you know what I'm saying? When I've saved up enough money to go to Icebox, you know what I'm saying, I might have to put a few hits on people too. But anyway, prosecutors noted that King Von had paid $128,000, that's crazy, to buy diamond-encrusted O-Block pendants from a jewelry store in Atlanta, keeping the biggest one for himself and giving the others to the members of his gang. A video showing King Von designing and trying on several pendants remains on YouTube. Oh, and they've linked Icebox into it as well. Bro, Icebox are about to catch the Rico too. They got an embedded link and everything. So King Von ordered most of the pendants before FBG Duck was killed and brought some afterwards, according to prosecutors. Now, a lot of people have even said to me before, like, oh, Von ordered those chains before Duck died, so that's not proof of anything. And it's like, well, not really at all. It's like, you're trying to kill Duck, and you're putting up money for the killing, and you're getting chains made for the guys, for your hit squad. It doesn't matter whether or not the chains were delivered before or after the hit squad carried out the most famous hit. They've been carrying out hits, all right? That's, I gotta say, there was a lot of self-snitching in this case, but let's just be real, okay? If you've seen The Sopranos, Tony Soprano and Paulie Walnuts and Silvio, they weren't all walking around with the Sopranos chains with a pistol as the R, right? Because the feds would have swept them up immediately. It don't happen, okay? The Sopranos weren't walking around with Letterman jackets, members-only jackets that said Soprano Original Hit Squad, Hitman on the back of it. They weren't doing that. So the idea that you got to have a guy like King Von and the O-Block Black Disciples, a gang, an actual famous gang, you're all walking around with a matching chain. And I've covered it in my videos before, but they had the names of people that had died on the back of these chains, which I know is a sign of respect, but also it's like, bro, you're putting the gang hits that you're avenging on the back of the chain with the name and the logo of the gang that you're wearing in all the music videos where you're surrounded by the gang and rapping about the killings. Your time on the streets are limited. It's your freedom is not going to remain. You know, King Von obviously lost his life before he had an opportunity to face justice for some of the terrible crimes he was accused of. But his friends are not so lucky. So, a witness had also identified King Von as the gunman who killed Jakira K.I. Barnes, a female gang assassin assassin suspected of killing O.D. Perry, Von's close friend. Now, King Von was shot to death outside of an Atlanta hookah lounge in November 2020, just a week after he released his debut album, Welcome to O-Block, which peaked at number 5 on the Billboard 200 albums charts. Another rapper was charged with his killing, that's Lil Tim. He is a rapper now, but the case was dismissed in June. What can I say, man? What can I say? If you are a gang of the most dangerous killers in America and you're running around jumping people on camera, that's self-defense. That's a self-defense shooting, you know. I don't care what anyone has to say. Bro, if I'm getting jumped by the most dangerous gang of killers in America, someone better shoot for me. I ain't got a Lil Tim on my team, but I might have to get one. Because, bro, that ain't flying. You know what I mean? People talking about, oh, he was trying to get a fair one-on-one. Bro, there was 6 gangsters with guns ready to blow right behind him. So, you know what I'm saying? It ain't happened. But anyway, King Von was a protege of Lil Durk, real name Dirk Banks, a stalwart of Chicago's drill rap scene, who had scored 3 Grammy nominations and 2 chart-topping albums in recent years. Dirk performed at the halftime of Wednesday's Chicago Fire FC versus Inter Miami FC game at Soldier Field, and has become a big enough figure that Mayor Lori Lightfoot even attended a charity event he hosted in February. Lil Durk and King Von were charged with attempted murder over a shooting outside of an Atlanta restaurant in February 2019, but Lil Durk's charges were dropped in October 2022 by Fulton County, Georgia District Attorney Fannie Willis, who has filed a racketeering case against Atlanta rapper Young Thug and his YSL crew that has similarities to the O-Block prosecution. Now, Chicago Sun-Times, what they're trying to say here without saying it, is that Dirk Rico ain't far behind. But perhaps his friendship with the Mayor Lori Lightfoot, former mayor, but he's hanging out with the new mayor. I've seen a picture. Maybe that's enough to duck the RICO charge. Who knows? You know, is there corruption at the top levels of Chicago society? I don't know. But the Dirk RICO ain't dropped, and he's rapping like he's killing all kinds of people, so it wouldn't surprise me if it did drop eventually. But anyway, Lil Durk and his brother D-Thang are both cited in recent court filings in the FBG Duck case, though Lil Durk isn't identified by name. Turpin allegedly alerted O-Block members that FBG Duck was shopping on Oak Street, and he made a call inside a store that was captured on video. I mean, that's a hell of a slip. During that call, Turpin made it clear that he was trying to get in touch with D-Thang, whose real name is Dante Banks Jr. How are you on a video making the murder call, man? I hadn't even seen these pictures before. How are you on a video? That's how you get put in the indictment. That's how the O-Block 5 turns into the O-Block 6. Like, they were the O-Block 6. One of them took their own life, and you damn near subbed your way in with this image. That is crazy. D-Thang was killed outside of a Harvey strip club in June 2021 in a shooting that also left a police officer wounded. The court filing notes that he was the older brother of individual E, Lil Durk, described as a high-ranking Black Disciples member aligned with the Lamron faction that's clicked up with O-Block. That description fits Lil Durk, who tweeted that he wanted to buy the sprawling Parkway Gardens housing complex after the Chicago Sun-Times reported in 2021 that it was for sale before the plans were dropped. Ain't no way Durk's ever buying O-Block. That's crazy. What kind of GTA-style gang stronghold does he think he's going to turn O-Block into if he buys it? That's just nuts. That's never happening. But anyway, Lil Durk has close ties to Smart, who is Muwop, and reportedly has taken verbal shots at Shondale Tuka Gregory, age 15, who was killed months before O.D. Perry, and for whom the Tukaville faction is named. Clearly, Chicago Sun-Times didn't watch the entirety of my documentary on the murder of Duck, because what they would know is that talking about close ties to Smart, he's got Smart on the private jet talking about he's hanging out with all the real killers, okay? It ain't a good look for the Dirk Rico, quite frankly. Now, Carlos Offord wanted the U.S. District Judge Martha Packold to keep violent lyrics and music videos for a song he released after FBG Duck's murder from being mentioned during the trial, but Packold ruled against him Tuesday on that point. Oopsie, I don't think I've even heard this song. Offord, whose stage name is Losa Dosa, is wearing an O-Block pendant in the video for his song Never Change as he stands in Parkway Gardens and raps, "Let off 20 shots, walk him down, let the rest out." It's not a good look, and he's wearing the O-Block chain that Von bought. So, yeah. Richard Kling, an IIT Chicago Kent College of Law professor who is actually representing him. So this guy's representing Los. This is interesting. He argued that allowing the video as evidence would be prejudicial prosecutors responded that they plan to use a 39-second clip of the video and a handful of still images to show Offord's membership in O Block, the existence of a criminal enterprise, the gang's racketeering activities, and his association with Muwop, aka Marcus Smart, who appears alongside Offord. Now, this is an interesting point because it was made a lot during the trial, or at least when the arrest of Young Thug first happened, about, should rap lyrics be allowed to be used in court? It's a controversial topic. I think they should be allowed to be used in court. If you've rapped a bunch of general stuff about, I shoot people, I kill people, I'm a killer, I'm a gangster, you got nothing to worry about. Who was it? Was it Bob Marley? Said, I shot the sheriff, but I didn't shoot the deputy. Hey, listen, if you're not standing next to a dead sheriff, that's fine. But these guys, they're literally talking about, we're ducking no bodies, we're jumping out, letting off 20 shots. Like, they're painting a way more vivid picture of a life of criminality using very specific terms and very specific explanations. And then the dead body is there. Like, it's all well and good saying you shot the sheriff 20 times with an extended clip and a switch. But if there's a dead sheriff next to you, you're catching that body, bro. It don't matter that you rapped about it. Like, a lot of these rappers, they seem to act as if, like, rapping about it means that I can never get charged with it. Like, that's what Young Thug was going. And I gotta say, it really rubbed me up the wrong way when Young Thug really leaned into this whole campaign of protect black art. Because really what you're doing is you're giving black art a bad name by, muddying the waters with all of this music about criminality that appears to be related to real crimes that have actually happened. Hiding behind protect black art when in reality, you're sullying the reputation of the many genuine black artists that don't rap about catching bodies and don't actually catch bodies. You know what I mean? Where's the Tyler, the Creator Rico? You know what I mean? That black art doesn't need protecting because he's not committed any real crimes and he hasn't snitched on himself. So, I feel like that was a really dirty move by Young Thug and his team, and I feel like it was really offensive to... I'm not going to say he's not an artist, but I will say that I think the aspect of his music that is art isn't just the fact that he's talking about violence and he wants to get away with it. But anyway, let's keep going with this. That one always kind of annoys me, but... in the portion of the song that prosecutors want to highlight, Los actually refers to O Block as my effing gang and uses a gun equipped with a device known as a switch that converts handguns into illegal machine guns. Now look, you're not going to go to court and talk about, I ain't really in the gang, I'm just a good kid from the block. You're on a song talking about O Block is my effing gang. And how can you have the gall to be like, oh, you shouldn't be able to use music against me. You shouldn't be able to use my music against me. Like, bro, this is your gang. You shouldn't say that lightly. Like, that shouldn't come lightly. Or I was just taught, no, you got on a song and said you are in a gang and the O Block is your gang. Now when you're in court, we're gonna listen back to what gang you said you're in. This is a gang-related murder. Crazy. Other lyrics that mention acts of violence and weapons won't be allowed to be presented as evidence, though prosecutors say drill rap is central to O Block's identity. Now, I think that is fair, You can't just show the guy rapping about guns as proof that he's used the gun. But you can rap about the guy rapping about a specific type of bullet that come out the gun that was in the dead body you found, sure. If you're talking about 7.62s made him flip, and you got a body that's been flipped over with 7.62s in it, you're just a crash dummy. Anyway, in their songs and accompanying music videos, O Block members assert their association with O Block, brag about criminal activities, or publicly claim responsibility for acts of violence committed by O Block, taunt rival gang members, and mock and disparage opposing gang members, prosecutors wrote at a September 28th court filing. As the trial nears, prosecutors successfully argued that jurors' names should be kept secret. That's facts. Keep them secret, because these O Block fools ain't messing around, and there's still a lot of them out there. Citing the significant publicity surrounding this case, the potential life sentences the defendants could face if convicted, and their connection to a gang faction that they have said has the capacity to harm jurors and interfere with the proceedings. Prosecutors said in the September the 8th filing that speculation about FBG Duck's killing has continued in online outlets and communities that exist to discuss and dissect the Chicago drill music scene, including who dissed who went to jail for what, and who allegedly is snitching in this and many other criminal cases. These forums also provide a place for users to erroneously analyze in detail filings from the docket in this matter, records purporting to be related to this matter from other sources, and other materials related to this case. Prosecutors wrote, signaling out a Reddit forum called Chiracology. Boom, we made it, all right? All my Chiracologists, give yourselves a round of applause, because we done made it to the Chicago Sun-Times. They really mean it when it comes to actually doing their homework. And, you know what I'm saying? They kind of screwed this up, because this actually is from the Reddit, the Chirac Times, not Chiracology. So you kind of fucked that up, Chicago Sun-Times. That's a bit dumb. That is the Chirac Times, not Chiracology. You big dummy. You big dummies. Anyway, I'm an expert in this. It's only fair. All right. The online scrutiny and media attention enhances the possibility that jurors' names would become public and expose them to intimidation, harassment, and potentially harm. Now, that's big facts. You know for a fact, all right, that if the names and the faces and the identities of those jurors somehow end up getting into the public, Chiracology are going to be on that like a fly on shit. Okay, there's absolutely no way that those jurors' identities are not going to be all over Chiracology, and I can't wait to see them. I definitely think that we're going to have some sort of fuckery with the trial where Chiracology is going to be talking wild and reckless on people involved in the case, and frankly putting people in danger. But you know what? That's what we know and love Chiracology for, so it is what it is. But anyway, Steve Greenberg, the lawyer representing Robertson, argued that keeping the identities of the jurors secret would be an unnecessary and extreme measure, that there haven't been any threats and that the coverage of the case has waned significantly, pointing to the results of a Google search for Turping, the defendant most recently indicted. Now, I would say that that's cap. Okay, that lawyer representing Robertson saying, let's keep the jurors' identity. We don't need to keep the jurors' identity secret. It would be unnecessary. It's going to be really hard for us to find and smoke these jurors and intimidate them if we don't know their identities, right, guys? I think I said the loud part quiet and the quiet part loud. Anyway, in persuading Packold to seat an anonymous jury, prosecutors responded that there weren't yet any jurors to threaten. They also detailed recent news coverage, including the documentary episode produced by the global megastar 50 Cent. Are you talking about big hip-hop homicides that your boy Trap Law Ross was in? I think you are. Chicago Sun-Times. But you can tell that they're salty because they don't even want to say the name of it. They don't want to say, including a documentary episode. Just say hip-hop homicides. They're salty because they get cited. They get cited by people like me. Anyway, meanwhile, the rap blogosphere... Bro, I think my clock's broken. My clock says 2023, but we must be in 2014 because this fool just said blogosphere. Meanwhile, the rap blogosphere keeps churning out material on the coming trial in Chicago. In an interview posted to YouTube on September the 12th, Chicago rapper Tay Capone said prosecutors' handling of the case has been eye-opening, describing their approach as like being something out of TV's Law & Order or the YSL case in Atlanta. Growing up, you hear stories about shit like this happening, he said. Is that it? Is that it? I thought we'd get more info about the case from that, to be honest with you. I got some other stuff. Well, anyway, look, I feel like that's enough, right? We got through the article. We understood that there's a little bit of new information there. But it's going to be crazy, man. The case has begun, or the case is beginning. Clearly, they haven't got any jurors yet. You know what I'm saying? I pray that those jurors don't get identified publicly. That would be really bad. You know what I'm saying? These guys are still sliding about Vaughn and all sorts of things. Yeah, you know what I mean? If they're going to try and kill Quando Rondo a whole bunch of times, I wouldn't put it past them to try and kill a couple jurors, to be honest. And you know what I'm saying? Maybe that'll be the final bow that's needed to tie together the Lil Durk Rico if he ends up doing a madness about this case. But yeah, it'll be interesting, man. Let's see what happens with this case. I'm expecting very heavy and harsh, guilty verdicts with massive sentences. You can't kill somebody outside the Dolce & Gabbana store in the Gold Coast, rap about it for years, and expect to get away with it. That is not happening, people. And that's my thoughts on it. It's gonna be an interesting trial.